Hey, welcome to Rolling with Stone. I'm John Stone, your host. And as you can see, we're in the luxurious Stone Cave here, enjoying some brews and reviews coming at you today. So the brew that we have is a Anchor Brewing. We can bring it right up here so you can see it. Anchor Brewing. It is Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, because we have Christmas and New Year just around the corner. So we want to sample some of these beers. This is their 46th edition of their Christmas beer. So I'm gonna give that a try. Got the handy opener. Someone's logo. I don't even know what logo that is. Probably something to do with an orange, I'm imagining. Anyway, it says open right on the top here. It's actually pretty handy. It says use opener, and that, because sometimes you get the ones and you're like, hang on, why isn't the twist top coming off? It's not a twist top. Use the opener. All right, and because we like to enjoy our beer responsibly, we put it right in the glass. So let's pour it out. Ooh, it is remarkably dark, especially for a Californian beer. There we go. Because Christmas here in the northern hemisphere is in wintertime. So I'm imagining it is a robust winter beer. So cheers. Enjoy. We're here on a Sunday. It's cold. It was supposed to be raining. It kind of rained a little bit. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to work away in the garage here, get a couple of projects done. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Beautiful dark. It looks like oil. Doesn't quite look like it. Well, it looks a little bit like a little bit. That's a good drop. It has like a real robust, hearty winter beer kind of a taste. You know, you've got the malts, the really caramelized malts, and then they've infused some nice hops in there. The hops don't go over the top, but they kind of blend well with the caramelized notes of the malt. I might have to get a couple more of these. Pretty good. Anyway, the Anchor Brewing Company. They're in San Francisco. So, and it is 7% alcohol. I heartily recommend. It's in a brown bottle. Some people say that the color of the bottle actually makes a difference to the beer. So anyway, brown bottle. It has a nice brown, nice robust. This is a great winter drinking beer, I think. I'm going to get a couple more of these for Christmas, and I will be having a Merry Christmas. A couple of those, 7% alcohol. You will be having a Merry Christmas. Anyway, today I'm working away on the mighty Husqvarna here. Usually I'm riding a mountain bike and doing all kinds of things, but people know that I like to mountain bike and I like to ride motocross. And we have a few here. I just show you. So we got the Husky here. There we go. Husqvarna, got the little H logo. But in the mighty Stone Cave, we have a few projects lined up. Well, we got the cruiser right over there. We have the mountain bike, and now we've got the kids' mountain bikes. But we have plenty of projects waiting for us to go over there, and plenty of motocross bikes to ride when we get around to it. So, all right, let's get into it. Now, this light is being a little crazy here. There we go. Does that make it better? Yes. Whoa, that's way better. All right, so hey, we're gonna get into this Husqvarna airbox. Not that anything could really get into the standard Husqvarna airbox, because it is one of the most convoluted airbox configurations that I have ever seen. That we've pulled it completely apart, and I pulled the thing. But yeah, it clips your fender clips into the airbox, and that the airbox comes away in multiple pieces, and that is a great design because because the air cleaner just plugs and plays like that. You pop it in, pop it out, and that can't go wrong with that. You're in, you know you're in. Anyway, standard. This thing came with this wonderful piece here. So Brian on it was way down in on top of that. And actually, we'll take the top piece off so we can show you. This piece was wedged way down here. I don't know if you can see, but that pretty much kills most of the space around your air cleaner, especially you've got like this little space here. Your side panel fits right on here, and there's no venting in the side panel here. So the side panel fits right on here. You can see the plugs here. There's no vent holes in the side panel to allow any of the air to fit through there. And then you got this big, huge contraption. Now this thing, I'm imagining, is the piece that you use if you have the 4-stroke model and you have your battery tray and all that other, this is what this is, battery tray, all your other stuff. 2-stroke, you don't even need this. I don't even know why this in there, but they could save themselves a little money. So anyway, so take that out. Now on the other side, which way did this go? We have, if you turn it around this way, you can see where I've cut it away. Anyway, it had this piece that fit right in here like this, right? So when this piece fits in like this, so this piece fits in like this, and then your side panel fits right on top of that. So the only place that your airbox can breathe in any air on this side is this teeny little port here, which you barely, like, I mean, I've got a normal size finger. You can barely get a finger in there to get, and that's feeding your engine. So anyway, so I looked at that, and you've got to keep this piece here removes, and that before I started cutting it, I looked at how much that piece was from Husqvarna. And this piece, if you booger it up, is only about $10 or $15 from Husqvarna, that piece. The actual chassis part of your subframe and airbox is much more considerable price. It's about $200 something. So anyway, so I'm like, okay, so I checked the price. It's not very expensive. So if I screw it up, I'm not into it for a whole bunch of money. So I cut it down along here and tried to remove as much as I could so that I can get some airflow in here. Now, typically with an airbox, you want to have airflow coming into the back of it here, because you actually need a dead air or a still air chamber for the air to draw into your motor. And you'll find that different motors, via the different intake track pathways and also port timings and port timings reconfiguration, all of that stuff, it will draw air from different points in things. So what you want to do is you can start your bike up, and you can feel on top of your air filter if you want to. You can take your air filter off if you've got it in the garage and there's no dirt involved. You take your air filter off and you can start to feel, rev the bike up, or have someone else rev the bike up for you and feel where the bike is drawing its air from. That won't be an even thing, and so you'll feel where the air is drawing from, but you do need a still chamber to contain the air, because as the old road races guys found out, and they did for years. They did this. They took off the restrictive airbox, and this is in the 70s, 80s even. They took off the restrictive airboxes, and they would run the little pod filters right behind their carburetors. They're typically 4 carburetors, and that on the old super bikes. And they found that when they put an airbox back on, but it was less restrictive, the thing actually made more power, because it had that still airspace. Because as your bike is zipping along, you're trying to draw air. Well, there's almost like a vacuum behind the filter. So it's not just pulling in infinite because you've got no cage around it. That airbox makes more power than less power. So what's going on, Shwani? Anyway, so you want to have still air around your air filter. But you want to be able to feed that still air with some venting and channeling. So we got remove that. Now, as I said, this is structural. This piece here is the structural member of the airbox. Now, I don't know why they didn't just put a regular subframe and then just put a really lightweight airbox inside the. We were joined by little S2. All right, hey, we're on YouTube live here, lady. So anyway, I have seen people drill holes into this, and I actually really wanted to drill some holes into this space because I'm trying to get some air into the back of this airbox and then leave this. Because I've seen where people put the let me just grab the side panel here. Grab these side panels. So this is the side panel on this side. So I've seen people just mercilessly drilling holes in what would be this area here. All right. So the problem with just drilling holes like a crazy person in that area there is that it's fine areas, and that's where you want to be capturing that air so that you can make some power. So you got to capture the air around your air filter and make the power that way. So looking at this, now I really wanted to get rid of some of these and put some venting in back here so I get the air in the back of the thing. Maybe someone will make a better subframe than this. I mean, this thing bolts together in about 1 million different pieces. It is actually heavy than that, so I don't know whether they could, someone could make something lighter weight. I mean, we're saving a bunch of weight here. We're saving at least 1 pound. That's a lot of titanium you got to bolt to your bike to equal even just that plastic thing we just removed. Anyway, so you got to look at structural. This is structural. I've seen people drill holes in this bit and that. You don't really need to drill a lot of holes in this bit because this bit actually, although it would be nice to be feeding the back here, you do have a nice venting port here and you're not too far. You're kind of a little bit shielded from your air filter and that. So you could draw air, could find it down through here. Now, you're only trying to get enough air. It's not like you need direct air will draw its way in. I mean, even if it's got to come in a little bit of a pathway and that, and you'd still have good structural for your subframe. So that this side's a little trickier because you want to typically put the holes back here. So it means you're gonna have to probably put the holes more in line with this bit here. You don't want to be putting a bunch of holes right down here because you want to be catching that air, and the holes will be letting that air come out. I mean, as much air as coming in is all that you're going to be capturing. So anyway, so like I said, there is some and these Husqvarna. This was a 2017 model. From what I understand, Husqvarna really choked up their airbox in whatever method. I mean, the guy that is the CEO at KTM bought himself the Husqvarna brand, and then used the KTM platform to build his Husqvarna bikes off. Now, I'm sure the investors at KTM said, hey, that's okay, you can do that, But make sure those Husqvarnas don't go any better than our KTMs. We want them to be the premium brand. You can't use our platform and then hot it up and make the super rocket and outsell our KTMs with your Husqvarnas. So anyway, so I'm sure that was some of the conversation that was there, and that maybe this is why this is choked up. Maybe some engineer got some award, or a team of engineers got an award for over complicating and over engineering this crazy airbox. Another reason why I don't like the plastic airbox is because I like to actually lower my subframes, even though I'm 6'4" tall, and I like to lower the subframe. You have more space between your butt and the back of the bike. You know, even if it's only 10 mil, makes a massive difference to the feel. It's so much more that you can push before that seat is hitting you in the butt. You know, and then that's why, if you look at most crashes, that's why most crashes are happening, is because something's smashing you in the butt and launching you off the bike that way. So I like to try and get that subframe down enough, get the back of the seat down enough so that I got a little more room there, so my butt's not getting smashed by everything, and I'm getting launched. Unfortunately, the composite subframe, nice stickers and everything. They really are nice stickers, but it's very tough because with some of the aluminum ones, I actually notch out a piece and slide. It allows you to slide the subframe down without even doing any modifications. You can notch out that hole and slide that subframe down, another 5 or more millimeters. And that 5 millimeters, this here is 10-15 millimeters at the seat at the back. So you can make a considerable difference just notching out some of the holes in your subframe. So it doesn't seem like you could do that with this type of arrangement. Anyway, so that's for your holes for your airbox. Be aware of where that is. Oh, and then looking at so that was so this is this side, right? So then looking at this side, and that we've taken out that piece. I can actually show you now before we go. So this piece goes, these little pieces, it's very great. This is actually not a bad design, but yeah. But now you can see that you have a lot more space down in there. Before, you were completely sealed. All this area was completely sealed off. You only have that teeny little port to breathe through. So now, even if you put some holes back here, and that it still has a nice pathway to get into your airbox and get yourself some air in there. So yes, anyway, and then we got to give this good airbox a good clean out. So it is important to, when you're modifying these things, like I said, I've seen people that have done that. This is a structural component, so if you damage that, you're hundreds of dollars into it. Cutting this little piece out here is this little piece that comes off, and that's held in by a screw at the back, and a screw down here, 2 screws, and that little piece is like $10-15 from your Husqvarna dealer. Anyway, so that covers the airbox. Anyway, while we had the airbox off, and that we took the carburetor apart, and cleaned out all of the stuff from when cleaned out all of the stuff from gas being sitting in these bikes, and that you get that big, thick, gooey, caramelized glaze in the bottom of your carburetor now because we have the ethanol in the fuel. So I was cleaning all that out, and then I was looking at there is some holes here, and this is your main jet fits down in this hole. So that we'll grab the other piece of the carburetor here. Anyway, so when you put your carburetor on, see how your main jet is here? This is where your fuel pickup for your main jet, which is, and all the fuel that gets fed, pilot main jet, is fed via what can be captured in this chamber. And so this is like, so the fuel is sloshing around here, and then it gets into this chamber, and then it goes up your main, you got your pilot jet here, and then this is another little starting jet. This is your pilot jet, main jet, and your needle is metering. Your needle is the little rod that meters the fuel flow up through this main jet. So the deal is that, so you can see there's the main jet, there's that, right? So your main jet is right down in there, right? And there is a plastic piece here that fits. Plastic piece fits over here. So this plastic piece has a little cup that fits on it, and has a little plastic cup that fits on it, and basically that fits over that little thing, right? And that's where your main jet is this hole here, and your pilot jet is this hole here. That other little jet is that hole there. Anyway, so that's how you're getting fuel. Your fuel gets into your bike is through that. Now, a bit like the airbox, they've kind of pinched everything off here, and that. So I noticed that there was these four. Can you see? Yeah, you can see the hole right there. So there's a hole like that. There's four of them. There's one. There's two. There's three, and there's four holes in the casting of the body. But guess what? There was no holes in the screw that you take off. So even though there's four holes there, now the four holes there are for, because after you finish riding, especially these days with the terrible fuel that we've got now, and that you should always drain the fuel out of the bottom of the carburetor. All right, so you take your thing out, and now you can see those holes. So those holes are going to let the fuel that is trapped in the bowl drain out. All right. Well, I'm like, well, we've got some holes in there already, and that. Why aren't we? But this had no holes in it to start off with. So I'm like, well, why don't we put some holes in there to let some fuel into the main jet area, and that, so that the fuel can go straight from the fuel bowl into the main jet area, and that. So what you want to do is you put your the thing back on, you plug back into your carburetor. Up. You can get it started. There we go, got it started. Right, so what I like to do is tighten this thing up, right? And you tighten it, and you want to put a mark on your bowl, and then you're gonna have a mark on the screw, on the bolt, right? So that you can always see right here, I've got a mark there, lines up with the mark there. That means that these holes inside are lined up. Now, so what I did, so this thing had no holes in it to start off with. So what I did was tighten my thing up, put my mark on the bowl, and then I put a stake mark on these, on the actual bolt that we throw, your plug bolt, and that. So then I pulled it out and then drilled the holes in the bolt there. So now this thing can draw plenty of fuel from around the bowl as well, and plus the fuel can be kind of a crazy you. So hopefully we'll have a bit more successful you. Anyway, so I know I didn't take a before shot of this. I should have taken a before shot of this. This is the plastic piece that fits around your jets.
The before shot was these. See how I got a bunch of big,
and you crank the throttle again, all cup where it was thin, dry of fuel so quickly. So, and then you've hit the jump, and you get the cough off the end of the jump, cough at the jump, or you get the cough when you land, and that. So I know people back in the day were making oversized fuel bowls and that, thinking that there just wasn't enough fuel in the bowl, and that's why you were running out of fuel off the jump or down the straightaway or whatever, bad pop and everything down the straightaway. So people were adding sub tanks to the fuel bowl. These fuel bowls have got bigger over the years, and that's simply because people were doing that. Oh yeah, well maybe that's what the secret is. So, when I discovered this years and years ago, that the secret is not that there's no fuel in the bowl. It's actually the fuel in the bowl can't get to the area where it needs to get into your main jet, to get up and into your motor. So, drill some ports, drill some of this. Now we're going to try this out, and we should be ready to bolt this thing together and check out. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I am John Stone, and this was Rolling with Stone. It was a pleasure to have you and have you watch my video. Now, if you like it, hit the thumbs up, give a subscribe. Even if you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down and leave a comment why. If you didn't like it, just tell me why didn't you like it. Is there something I can do that would be better? Anyway, hey, it's a Sunday afternoon. I'm in the Stone Cave. We get out and enjoy your Stone Cave every once in a while when the weather looks like it's, this is actually not too bad now, but it was going to rain. It did rain for a bit. And I said, okay, I'm in the Stone Cave today, instead of out on the trails, either on the mountain bike or hitting the moto track on the weapon. Enjoy. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And 2021 should be, hopefully it'll be better sailing than 2020 has been, because it has not been the world's greatest year. And so